show is not suitable for children, sensitive men, or insecure women. Can you trust somebody that doesn't take care of their kids?
I don't trust no man on earth that does not take care of their children.
What's the biggest red flag in a relationship?
Low effort and not being honest.
Most of the time, you would think that a bad financial mistake would be spending money on clothes or vacation or like spending money on women. My worst financial mistake was buying a home.
Like a king, give me my crown. Game time. Game time. Appreciate y'all.
Yo. What's the deal? Back. What's the deal?
It's that time again.
InvestFest 2 days away. Man.
Phone is off. No, sorry. See you on stage.
That's a fact, man. Yep. A lot going on. First and foremost, shout out to Wild Things brand. Send me this oversized t-shirt. Part of my merch package.
It's fire, okay. Shout out to Wild Things. Live it up. See you in Atlanta.
See you in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm. How you feeling, brother?
I'm good. How you feeling?
Good, man. Grateful. Excited.
Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah. So much going on. Do remember, get your tickets. 2 days left. We'll see you Friday. Registration is on Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning to 6 o'clock at night. GWCC. InvestFest starts Friday at 10 o'clock in the morning. Panel workshops. Fidelity, BlackRock, Investment, Invesco, QQQ will be in the building. Miss Business, financial planning, all day education, all day. Friday we're doing myself and Troy's doing a book signing. Man, it's so much going on. Friday night, VIP night.
Hello. It's a hell of a lineup too.
Motion picture event. Myself, Ian, Kev on stage. First time we ever doing a comedy stand-up show. We got Carlos Miller. We got Pinky Cole. We got Jada Waiter. We got musical performance by Keisha Cole.
Icon.
Legendary. We got Terrence J. We got man, so much, man. So much. Kenny Burns.
And it's a lot to learn even from VIP night.
Facts. And great networking.
Yeah.
And then of course all day Saturday, all day Sunday. And all the after parties. Submit your questions, as we said in Market Mondays, due to unexpected travel and being on a different continent and just living the life of a billionaire. Jack Dorsey will not be able to be there in person, but we will be having a live conversation with him. And that's going to be streamed and it's going to be shown on the main stage in real time. It'll be happening in real time. Block, they definitely wanted to kind of add some level of incentive bonus since he's not going to physically be there. So submit your questions at inquiries with an S at the end at earnyourleisure.com. 5 questions will be selected and those questions will be asked to Jack Dorsey live on stage.
Bloomberg, Nicole, Billy, Edwin, send me yours in Telegram.
Facts.
Yeah.
Edwin got to get his just if he has a question.
Just off GP for any person on stage.
Executive decision. Edwin gets a question for sure. That's a fact. Shout out to Edwin, man. Salute. Okay. Ian, any announcements?
No stock club call this week. If you want to get rich from the market, go to ianinvest.com. Join Red Panda. See you in Atlanta. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's going to be a great time. Register on Thursday. If I made you money, please put yes in chat. And my phone will be off until Sunday night.
That's it. Yep. So let's get it going. Okay.
Can we talk about managing relationships in times of crisis? I don't even shout out to the boy, shout out to everybody over there. Drake crashes out on the steak CEO. You talk about the power of relationship. We got to put a multiple on this. I don't want to make it solely about him, but in light of the UMG situation, can you talk about how it's important to keep good relationship even when the business terms may not be favorable or you're trying to renegotiate? because I think this is a tactic that is done in our community a lot to have bad breakups or bad business separations, but it may cost you 15x down the line. My boys had a tough 2 years. Prayers to you, shout to everybody over there. But
can you give some context? Because I'm not 100%. I know he has. Yeah, can you give some context?
He had a deal with Stake. He's trying to renegotiate, and he made the analogy. We talked about this. He said, "Well, if Stake is the Warriors, I'm Steph Curry. I'm putting up points on the board," and he's driven the valuation of Stake Up, which is a gambling app and site. But he's going to renegotiate once again, one in equity or a bigger equitable position. And the CEO said, no. How would you handle it if you drive value, you go to renegotiate, and you get told no?
And he did this on Instagram. He announced it
on a stream.
On the stream,
they called him a goof.
A goof.
Shout out to the boy, but
from my understanding, I think he had $100 million deal, something crazy like that with Stake.
I thought it was 150, but let's say 100.
Yeah. Yep. So I mean,
but if you're seeing a person, and it's for the counting pockets and measuring what happens, if you see the valuation go up to 5 or 6 billion and it's projected to maybe be worth 15 in 8 or 9 years, while he's fighting for his masters at UMG, now you have 2 demons to slay. I think it's a mistake in how you handle these negotiations and going at about it in such a crass way when it hasn't worked before for you in UMG. I mean, Lucian just basically told all the tea in a little deposition that came out about how much they invested. Like, that's done to restructure and reposition. But for all the entrepreneurs watching tonight, can we tell them that's not the way to go?
Yes, it's not.
There's other ways to negotiate your value and get equity.
Well, because the thing about it is, where do we go from here? If he has derogatory things to say about the CEO, what's the lever? Like, I'm assuming the CEO, they like, okay, we're not going to give you what you asked for because we don't think that is worth it. That's what it comes down to, right?
Or it may be worth it, and I just don't want to give you my fucking equity. That's the other part of like the dark side of entrepreneurship. If you don't get the equity in the beginning, you're probably not going to get it later.
So Troy put in chat, if Stakes is the Warriors, I'm Steph Curry, we win chips for the last how many years? The owners get rich as fuck and make us run suicides after practice still. Eat granola bars for meals and take the Greyhound bus to games. Fucking goofianos. I mean, honestly, I love Drake. But if that is the situation, how he just described it, that's his fault. Because it's not like he came into it as a struggling artist. Mm-hmm. He came into this deal as Drake.
Probably towards the end of the peak. Yep.
So he had all the power to negotiate whatever he wanted from the jump. Mm-hmm. Why would you go for a bad deal when you're already Drake?
We're not going to say $100 million is a bad deal, but to give in the context of the situation, I totally understand what you mean. And also, whatever tier you enter as, especially on the investment grade side, you're not going to surpass that. So if you came in accepting 200, 150, and you didn't get any non-dilutable shares, they're not going to give it to you after. Because if you're the catalyst to drive the value up, and I'm looking to off-sell this, it messes up my cap table to then give you equity.
But then also he brought up a point where he said that he's Steph Curry. I don't even know if that's a good comparison because nobody's bigger than the team. An NBA player, no matter how valuable they are, they've never got ownership in the team.
That's true,
right? You could be the greatest player in the world. You're gonna get $100 million contract, $200 million contract, but eventually you're going to not be valuable anymore because your playing career is going to come to an end, and then we're going to get somebody else. So if he's comparing himself to a player,
that's a bad analogy from the very beginning.
Yeah, the owner's always going to make more than a player, and a player is never valuable enough to have ownership in the company, in the team, because a player's lifespan is going to end.
Or it's structured that way from the beginning to allow you to lose before you can even get a chance and the leverage to win. Ironically, business lesson, you need to buy the equity when your value is lower. Because the threat is if you get equity now as Drake and we gave you 100 million, because of your presence and Q score and brand power, you can probably hostile take over my company. They don't want hostility in those cap tables. You have to do it when you're coming off as Meek. The way Kendrick is playing it ever since he had caught that victory and lining up his partnerships is being done pretty well. So for all my entrepreneurs, like, and also too, if you're of a brand of that magnitude, if they won't give it to you, gravitate to a partner who will. He could have went and did something at Kick or one of the other streaming platforms for sure and had some value there. But they could have found a little gambling company in Turks. Be right at Grace Bay and got 22%. If you don't get equity in something and you help build it, that is your fault, your mistake. I definitely hope he learns from it. But for the entrepreneurs tonight, you have to get equity and not be involved from the beginning. You can't ask for it later.
No, you can't.
It's like, okay, you're building your house done, then you meet somebody and they're like, well, I want half. It's like, you didn't pick out no basic boards for me. No chandelier. It's too late. House already constructed. Don't build a house that you don't own in terms of business. But shout out to the boy.
Shout out to Drake.
That boy called me. My Lord. And two, you can upset a lot of these people and they start to erode your counsel around you too. Be careful. It's a lot of money. The same way Lucian invested into that brand growing, he's investing a lot of money in the de-acceleration of that brand as well.
Let's talk about the U.S. faces $9.4 billion tourism loss over new $250 visa fee targeting African nations. So the United States is expected to lose approximately $9.4 billion in visa spending over the next 3 years due to
9.4 million or billion?
Billion.
Okay, go ahead.
Due to a newly introduced $250 visa integrity fee. The surcharge, which applies to all non-immigrant visa application, including tourism, students, and business travelers, has raised concerns from industry groups about its potential impact on international travel. So the U.S. Travel Association estimates the fees could lead to 15,000 job losses in the travel sector and reduce tax revenue by 1.3 billion. Critics say the policy may particularly affect travelers from African nations where visas costs are already high. The Congressional Budget Office projects the fee could generate 27 billion over the next decade. So, okay, it's 9.4 billion all in as far as like jobs that's going to be lost, the economic impact, the whole thing, right? Like it's a barrier for people coming to America, long story short. So if people don't come to America as tourists or to visit, then America loses money from the tourism industry.
Mm-hmm. And I don't think we can afford to do that while debt to GDP is high and Las Vegas is in absolute shambles. I think people keep skipping over, like, oh, it doesn't matter. Vegas is fine. I've even seen a few people post when they were out in Vegas and said it looks normal to me. It does.
Oh yeah, what's this Vegas thing about?
That the occupancy rates in the hotels have went down 70% year over year. It's troubling.
Nobody's going to Vegas?
Not as lit as you. Okay. I always say everyone's your competition. If you have the chance to pick between Las Vegas, Mallorca, Cabo, Turks. Like Turks and Cabo they have no more off-peak seasons. When's the last time you heard people be like, yo, next free weekend, Hangover 4? Not happening. And because of some of this shifts in the political climate, it is affecting tourism. It definitely is. I think somebody needs to make a call to DC and say, hey, this isn't going to go well over the next, because a lot of the attractions that used to be staples in America aren't as strong as they used to be in comparison to what you can see on your phone or Instagram. At one point, Disney used to just be the dream vacation for the family. It's not that anymore.
Well, also you got the pressures of social media and rap. Cardi
For
B,
sure.
I actually like the Cardi B song. I think she did a good job.
Oh my God.
You don't think she did? You don't think so?
Shout to Cardi. we not gonna lie. It's Fine Wednesday. It's a decent attempt. It's not a first or second single for a star of her magnitude. I really think she should have redid to Get Money.
That was a video inspiration. But you don't like the song?
The song's cool. It's not Bodak. It's not.
Bodak. Nothing is ever gonna be. But I'm just saying, there's a whole generation that never heard the Jay-Z song. So for them,
I don't think she was fit to do that. And maybe the delivery of, like, she was spitting. The delivery was not there yet. I feel like she needed a couple more weeks to. The video's a phenomenal work of art, though. I ain't going from, man. I thought from a lyrical standpoint, I thought she did a great job. I thought it was a great song. But one thing about the song is that she's setting such unrealistic expectations. For her to say, going to Carbone for your birthday is Olive Garden, that's $2,500 dinner. If I was Michael, I would be so pissed right now. We got to talk about how rappers are restructuring a whole brand. Oh my God. Even with X5, when Jay said that back in the day, I was like, Jesus Christ. Like, BMW got to be pissed. We want to drive X5s. We give them the baby. Oh my.
It's the reset of, that's a fact. Like, even when you said the 4.0 to 4.6, like, she said,
Carbone is Olive Garden is crazy.
If you get taken to Carbone for your birthday, like that's Olive. To me, that's Olive Garden. Like, what are you supposed to do? Fly somebody to Italy and have a personal chef actually make, like, Carbone is one of the hardest places to get reservations. Mm-hmm. You're definitely going to spend at least $1,000 for two people. You thought my $500 dinner take was crazy. You go to Carbone, you're going to spend at least $1,000 for two people. Mm-hmm. To say that that's Olive Garden in an economy where the average Black person makes $40,000 a year is out of control.
While your label is low-key trying to reshift focus in terms of your budget, that's crazy.
It's out of control. So I say that to say, it's just, man, this travel thing, bringing it full circle. You're right, because the what's been put in our head, nobody wants to take domestic. Like, when I was a kid, there was a thing called domestic travel. Mm-hmm. Your parents would take you to Virginia Beach. Your parents would take you to, like, people still go to Martha's Vineyard, but that's kind of like a different thing. Yeah. It wasn't even Florida all the time. Like I said, you could go to, like, King's Dominion in Virginia. It was the Poconos.
Poconos is a thing.
Poconos. Like,
Vegas was a thing.
Oh, Vegas was
like dependent for adult entertainment.
Vegas was like going to Paris. I remember my first time being in Miami, bro. I thought, because I had just heard about Miami my whole entire life. I got to Miami, I was like 19. To me, Miami was the south of France.
The pinnacle.
That was like, I'm like, what? Miami, like South Beach was everything. Now,
that's not even a planned trip anymore. Like, people just go hop on Expedia, and we're gonna show over to Miami real quick. Vegas down. LA is falling apart. Shout out to everybody on the West Coast.
LA's in shambles. Salute to Cali.
For sure. Cali, one of my favorite places.
But LA hasn't really been the same since the pandemic.
Since COVID.
Vegas, I think we gotta go to Vegas soon, but I'm interested because I just been seeing, like, this Vegas thing is falling apart. I don't know if that's the gambling thing. Maybe people are,
and that has an effect too.
Maybe because of online gambling.
You're bringing up a great point because it's eating away market share and the convenience of it. If you are a true gambler, you don't have as many constraints in how much you can gamble. Secondly, it's way more convenient. I can watch the game at home, bet on my phone, and it's more fun to do with friends. You don't have to wait 1 or 2 times a year to do it. And I've said this before to Ice at Joe's podcast. I'm like, if you are pro the gambling sites, that is a hedge against Vegas because Vegas has to be going down. Both of them are not going to thrive at the same time. Like nightclubs and Instagram are a paired trade. People are either going to spend more time digitally or in person. Both are not going to thrive at the same time.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah.
And then you have international tourism. Ghana, Lake Como, absolutely amazing, most magical place. Beatty, how did you call us for the poppy? Mexico, Aruba, that St. Thomas. These places are the crazy part. Some of the islands are more affordable than the domestic travel.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's crazy to even consider.
Definitely, you get a little DR trip out of it. Jamaica, you might be spending the same amount of money or less than you going to Miami.
Absolutely,
considering all things considering.
Mm-hmm. So,
okay. All right, where do we go next? What about scientists saying that they could delete the extra chromosome tied to Down syndrome?
It's fascinating. I always want to go to the cause of the increase of things. I'm very sensitive to these things. I have friends that children have that and autism. But I also do wonder if you can start to edit rapidly certain things out of the gene pool, then how long will it take to it lean towards eugenics? Remember when everybody said CRISPR was going to be the biggest stock ever and it never became that? Told you. I told you. The government has to allow public markets to flourish. So just to put that out there. But I wonder, is it a dangerous game to play to select certain genes to be removed or enhanced? I mean, because they have the designer baby thing. But I think at some point it can be harmful to society if you know the history of this country and eugenics. But what do you think?
I think that it is beneficial from a standpoint of I have a family member that has Down syndrome, so I know firsthand how difficult that can be.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's definitely helpful and beneficial. I just spoke to Ronnie Brown, shout out to her, yesterday about sickle cell. Her stepdaughter is going through sickle cell treatment. She put it on Instagram. That's another thing. I have a cousin that has sickle cell as well. So any type of situation like that where you can eliminate that from somebody else having to deal with that, nobody wants to deal with that.
Mm-hmm.
That's helpful. Now, as far as can that technology be manipulated? Of course. But with the good comes the bad.
Yeah.
That's why you got to have regulations in place and you got to try to police it. But I feel like I would be for that. I would be pro that.
Yeah. Regulations take a long time. And what's more important, lobbying or regulation?
What's more important, lobbying or regulation?
Or which has the greatest impact?
Well, don't they gonna go hand in hand? The lobbyists create the regulation.
That's my point exactly.
Yeah.
It's above my pay grade, though. It's above my pay. Listen, to the audience, I'm gonna put it right there at the rim for you. You draw your own conclusions after that.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
So.
Okay. Who decides?
I got a question for you. After they learn all this amazing information at InvestFest, what's the 30-day plan they should implement to make sure they didn't just go hear amazing information, but it didn't transform their lives after?
Okay. Going into InvestFest, you should have a game plan. You should never wing anything in life. So what's the game plan? The game plan is, the first game plan is what sessions do you plan to attend? you'd be surprised. We've put the schedule on the app and we put the schedule on the website. I would venture to say the vast majority of people have not mapped out their day.
Mm-hmm.
They're just going to wing it. They might know one or two things, but for the most part, they haven't mapped out the whole day.
Yeah.
I would take an hour out of my day to map out the day. That's the first thing I would do. The second thing I would do is to invest in a notebook or a on your cell phone and take notes. Because
I like pen and paper better.
There is a thing called information overload. When you go to something like this, you're not trying to learn 700 new things. Mm-hmm. I personally like to focus on 5 to 10. 5 really being optimal. If you can learn 5 really, really okay, oh shit, Matt, he really taught me about 203K loans. Like, this is something that I'm really going to dive heavy into, right? Or like business credit, like, oh shit, this is really something that I'm really going to dive into. It's like how to fix my business credit and how to get a line of credit for $10,000. Okay. Now, after you do that, you have to come back home with a plan of action. 12-week, we talked about that book before. It's very good. You have to break things down into attainable goals. Right. So it's like, okay, my first thing that I want to do, I have to further my education on 203K loans. So I'm gonna watch 2 videos. I'm gonna read a book. I'm gonna go out in the field. I'm gonna put a bid in for a house. I'm gonna talk to 5 different loan officers in my network. All of these things you have to map out on the whiteboard or on a piece of paper, so you can actually say, okay, this is a checklist of things that I need to accomplish. From InvestFest, I learned about 203K loans. Okay, my goal is to actually implement the 203K strategy on a buy and flip, right? Now, from A to B, there's a wide gap in what needs to actually happen. So what do you need to do? You need to get funding. Potentially, you might need a partner. You need to find a property. All of these different things, right? But you learned something at InvestFest, but now to actually implementing it is the key. Also, from a networking standpoint, once again, you don't need to meet 700 people.
Nope.
Right? If you can meet 5 to 10 people, once again,
10 is my number.
That's helpful. When I say meet them, I mean when you could really say, okay, this is a person I really need to. Okay, put it in your phone, put the reminder. Let me follow up next Wednesday, next Thursday. I'm not going to follow up on Monday morning. Like, I'm going to follow up next Thursday. I'm doing this. I'm going to make sure I follow them on LinkedIn. Get your LinkedIn together. I'm going to make sure I follow them on LinkedIn or any other social. I'm going to have a set strategy how to stay in touch with this person. I'm going to have a set strategy on how I can add research value to this person. I'm going to research the person so I can actually, when I do reach out to them, it's going to be on some level of I'm adding value first instead of me asking for something from them. Think it through, right? Like, you have to have a set game plan when executing information, and you also have to have a set game plan when you are cultivating relationships.
Absolutely. So one tip of the week is great for those of you who have an issue with follow-up. Whatever you're great at, give that tip to whoever you connected with and offer to do it for them, no charge. You don't, hey, how can I help? Don't figure out what value they need. Put it in ChatGPT. Like, I'm amazed that people, like you said, going into it, people are like, okay, how do I plan pre and post? Go into ChatGPT and say, hey, this is my goal from InvestFest. I want to make 500% return off my ticket that I paid. Map out every session I should go to, implementation plan pre and post, and build a follow-up sequence for me. Even with that, a lot of people still may not do it. And that's the gap between having a good year this year and an amazing year next year. Probably 20% of people are going to follow up for a full 3 to 6 month cycle.
Facts.
Like, if you just do that, and every week, like even Edwin, we have reverence for Edwin. Edwin just does the work and support. Whatever Edwin could. Yeah, let me get on stage and do half presentation. Go ahead, bro. You got it. Because he's helped so much and executed at such a high level. You can't do anything but respect it. But please get in the chat GPT 5. Have a builder plan out for you. Execute that follow up every week for the next 3 or 4 months after. You'll be a-okay. Because it's going to come a month or a week where somebody dropped the ball and or disappointed, and you're going to be able to fill in that gap. Chris is a prime example. You told the story. Same when I met him. Hey, Instagram could be better. TikTok, non-existent. Let me do it. I probably 2 months for free. It got to a point where I was like, Chris, let me just send you the money, bro. Be so valuable that your audience has to pay you.
That's a fact. And then, you brought up another good point with Edwin is that I remember last year, Edwin just adds so much value. So I'm like, yo, just Edwin, make sure Edwin get a free VIP ticket. And he hit me like, yo, I already purchased a ticket. And I said to say this. I was at a cookout the other day, and somebody was like, yeah, somebody connected me with a person that asked for a ticket. Based on the strength of our relationship that I had with the person, I gave him a ticket. But then somebody else chimed in, another older person. He was like, if everybody gets a free ticket, there's no event to go to.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes support is actually
investing.
Paying for something. Like, you know what I'm saying? From your own personal standpoint, but also from your friend's standpoint. I said to say, sometimes, even if it's your friend's brand, pay for it. Because it's not gonna even be a brand if there's no money that comes through it.
Hello. And then what happens? People hit me today, yo, can I get a ticket? You haven't reposted nothing for Market Mondays all year. No. I'm still stressed. I gotta finish getting these looks together, rehearsing, going through no. Sorry, it's too late. It's too late. So, but map out your plan. Most people are not going to follow up for 6, let alone a year, just helping. That's for sweet. You can make $1 million for real a year just following up and executing for other people.
That's
most quit after 4 weeks, 8 weeks max.
That's a fact. And keep your endurance. It's a long weekend, but it's just one weekend. So, okay, start Friday. I know it's gonna be like, oh, by Sunday I'm gonna be tired. It's just 3 days. That's it. 3 days seems like a long time until you look at 3 days in the grand scheme of your life.
Mm-hmm.
I would strongly recommend, don't waste opportunities. Don't say, okay, I'm gonna take Sunday morning off. I'm gonna come late on Saturday. I'm gonna do.
You never know who you're gonna meet.
Fashionably late. Once again, CEO of Chick-fil-A. This is legendary story. Legendary story. Sunday, fitting, being at a Chick-fil-A, right? Like Dan Cathy comes in. Nobody knows what Dan Cathy looks like. A lot of people had just started hearing about Dan Cathy's name because we started talking about him. And he's walking around the vendor marketplace with a name tag on that says customer service, Chick-fil-A customer service, Dan Cathy. And he's walking up to vendors and just saying, hey, how are you? No, taking stuff. They had no idea what they was talking to. It wasn't, 50% of the vendors wasn't even there.
Do your research. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Show up and be there.
Yo, nobody knew I had I don't know what could have potentially happened, but what if one person would have just said, hey, I know exactly who you are. I've been a big fan. Hey, I have I have a hand sanitizer brand. I think I could offer value. Are you in need of hand sanitizer? It might have got a distribution deal for the hand sanitizers.
Well, just amazing advice to allow you to scale 15x. Be there early. Be there early. Even me, when I go, everybody like, oh, are you gonna go so early? You don't go on till later. I want to feel it, but also I want to talk to the AV team. I want to talk to AB, security, get a let. It helps.
That's a fact.
But if I want to jump off a rocket on stage, well, I'll talk to them all weekend.
That's a fact.
Build relationship.
And
if you can learn one thing from every speaker, you're good. Just one amazing thing to implement it.
You know who comes fashionably late?
Who?
Talent. As far as like that's an artist. That's the artist.
It's the artist thing.
You know who comes early?
The owners.
The owners.
The owners always there early.
Think about that.
I'll see when I go to the Rockets game. For T to be there at 4 o'clock, game at 8:30, super early.
Think about that. If you want to be treated as like a prima donna talent, then yeah, have a rider and come late. And I'm talking about just as an individual person attending, because some attendees think like that.
Yep.
They think like of as themselves as talent. Like I'm coming fashionably late. I'm done that. I okay. Okay.
And I'm telling you, as a former attendees, when I used to go to these conferences, I would be the first person. They're like, "You to help? No, I'm here to learn." What you mean I'm to help? No, take note. And then you start to build relationship and get more secrets. It's like, it means a hell of a lot. It means a lot. Be there early. Learn one thing from every person.
That's a fact. How do you think that Diddy is going to be able to do Madison Square Garden? You hear about that?
Brother love. I wouldn't do it if I were you. Not yet. It's not
Too
time.
much. Too much.
It's too much. Also, I've learned too, if you escape proverbial death, it's best not to flaunt your victory in front of their face.
That's a fact. Look what happened to OJ.
Even Irv. Like certain celebratory moments, have them in the privacy of your house, off of Kick, off of IG Live. Come out, be a humble and gracious servant. Go back into the Christian bag, and you have to learn to be humble. If he beats this and then does Madison Square, they are going to gun for him. Don't put a target on your back. Go back to Star Island or wherever else, but And to be honest, I wouldn't even let no one have a phone around him, record him for the next 5 years. Be quiet. Say whatever you want in private.
Russell Simmons.
Get that little machine where it knock out all the Wi-Fi and all of the cell service. Then get to it. No.
Play.
What do Democrats need to do to win in 2028?
Okay. What do they need to do to win?
You about to run for governor?
They need to go extreme left. I was talking to my cousin yesterday about this. Mondani.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why he's going to be the next mayor of New York City is because he's anti-Trump. All the other guys try to play in the middle. All these like Cuomo.
Time out. Slow down. Hold on.
What?
That's this weekend. Let's wait.
No, I'm saying they try to play in the middle as far as like Cuomo and Eric Adams, where nothing, no disrespect, but they try to play both sides. They try to appeal to Republicans. They try to appeal to Democrats. Mondani said, "I'm going strong left."
He took a page out the Bernie Sanders playbook.
But it's needed because one extreme, an extreme can only beat an extreme. The Republicans didn't play to the middle. Donald Trump did not play to the middle. Prior to 2025, he went far left, extreme left, right? And it worked. He got elected twice. So to beat that, you got to have extreme. I mean, he went extreme right. To beat that, you got to have extreme left. You can't have a middle person. That's the problem with the Democrats. They trying to play in the middle. They trying to appease everybody. They don't want to ruffle any feathers. Mm-hmm. They want to play all sides of the fence. Bernie Sanders, if he's still physically able, if I was the Democratic Party, I would put him up. He would be the front. He would be the front.
They cut his legs when he had the moment.
But now he has another chance. He's the one, because he's the far left person that can still get mass appeal. Right? Still has star power.
Mm-hmm.
Bernie Sanders would be my choice. If I was the Democratic Party, I would put him up instead of Gavin Newsom, instead of all the other middle of the road safe. Safe is not going to get you nothing in life. Sometimes in life you gotta say fuck it. The Republicans, regardless of how you felt about their strategy or not, they did not play it safe. They said we're going to end DEI. We're not going for no gay rights shit. We are kicking all of the immigrants out. They went extreme. And it worked.
The core, I think that the Republican Party tried to touch upon in this election, and the Democrats failed to do. And I think the biggest issue, regardless of party, over the next 16 years, is going to be the economic crisis that is happening that no one is talking about, in this wage gap in work. Like the Democratic Party, I don't think is currently focusing on real solutions to, okay, just in my research stack. In the last 30 years, college education has went up 750%. Wage growth is dying. No one wants to say it, but if AI has the relevance and expansion plan that it does, it's going to bring commercial and office space buildings crashing down by 25% in 8 years. And most, like you said, most politicians are playing the middle while receiving funding from the technocracies that run our country. I think the message is broken and it's not in tune. Like, even I was reading a stat that there are more people above 70 that can afford a home than those who are at 30 and under for the first time in American history.
30. So yeah, so the stat actually is, though there are more home buyers, they're more new home buyers over the age of 70 than those under the age of 35.
That's
so it's
insane.
not homeowners. Because a lot of people was like, okay, well, they own a home. They've owned a home for 40. It's not just homeowners, it's home
It's the
buyers.
new market.
So these are senior citizens that's actually buying. There's more senior citizens buying homes than millennials, pretty much.
And then for the first time, probably for sure since 2008 and 2009, whenever I talk to a person that's graduated college, they're like, I don't even know what the fuck to do to get a job. Because between AI and human resources and application and just the market being contracted, they are almost like giving up hope on what to do to navigate the workforce. We can't have that. So a lot of these other social issues that are being talked about, no one gives a damn about that. Like the president and the government is supposed to help a few core areas. Housing, education, and then financial mobility are three that matter a hell of a lot that I don't think they've talked about enough. The Trump's approach may not be right, but he at least hit on that vein of financial prosperity.
And that's the thing that's the real thing that Mondani has in his favor, is that, look, it's not sustainable when you have average one bedroom is $4,200.
That's insane.
And so New York City, I mean, look, they've forgotten about 80%. They've totally disregarded 80% of the population.
For sure.
That's not sustainable
at all.
And this is why he's getting pushed to the forefront, because it's like you created a city where you have more billionaires than anywhere else in the world, and the rich, you have the have than have nots. And there's a lot of people that are struggling just to buy groceries, and you're pricing them out and nobody's doing anything about it. That's not sustainable.
No. And if the government debt is as high as this is, I can only imagine why personal debt is higher. It's a house of cards at best.
That's a fact. But let's see if our guests, if the guests, with surprise guests, let's see if we could. Can you hear? Can you hear us? Can you hear us?
Mic check 1 2.
Can you hear?
Yo, Wagwan, you can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, man. I can hear you. I was detained briefly. They wanted to know why I went to Somalia. I had to explain, and now I'm free. Free at last.
Wait, what? Wait. I didn't know this, my brother. You what? You okay?
Yeah, cool, man. It's a regular thing. It's when you walk the dangerous line, sometimes you gotta tow it as well, you know?
Yeah.
So ChakaBars will be at InvestFest. Man, you getting detained by ICE? Sheesh.
I mean, they wanted to know if I had any terrorist affiliations. I told them I just know Rashad.
See, they read crazy in the docket. That's great.
Oh man. ChakaBars, how are you, my brother?
Yeah, man, cool. I just reached Atlanta, and I'm ready to be part of the movement. You know, I'm happy to be here. Long flight, little sleep, big people next to me, so I was like, kind of like edge up, but I'm here, and I'm excited, man. How are you guys feeling?
We good,
Great.
man. So I want to talk about a few different things if we can while we got you. Diaspora wars. Let's talk about the diaspora wars.
It's a
We
good
never really
thing.
got into that on this show, but there's a thing called diaspora wars on social media where it's a diaspora wars. Black Americans versus Africans, Africans versus Black Americans, Nigerians versus South Africans. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing going on right now. Yeah, diaspora.
I feel like the diaspora wars are mythological. I think that they only really exist on social media until you have recently people trying to boycott businesses, which didn't work. It actually just got more support for the businesses. Um, in America, in the Americas, I think on the continent there is some legitimate issues. It's always interesting how the South Africans that have issues with Nigerians and Somalis and Ethiopians, etc. They never have the same smoke for the Oronia white only towns and those type of things
But we
in
do love South Africa,
South
by the way.
Africa. So,
We do love
you
we
know,
do love
I
South.
think that the diaspora wars are essentially just like a exacerbation of COINTELPRO. If you look at organizations like Breitbart, they have first they have their bots, but then they have agents that they pay to sow the seeds of distrust, and they pay to sow the seeds of disassociation between black people because everybody kind of just forgets history. We're living in 24-hour feed life right now, rather than living in the real life, which is actually in the 60s, in the 70s, COINTELPRO was created to try and create diaspora wars that never existed before as well. And I think, you know, you're not hearing Nigerians getting shot by black Americans or Nigerians shooting black Americans like black Americans are shooting black Americans and Nigerians are shooting Nigerians in Nigeria. I don't think that the diaspora wars is a legitimate war as much as it is, um, as much as it's said that it is on social media. And also, sorry about the beeping, and also the people who are perpetuating these wars and these narratives also are benefiting from them. That's what we have to remember. They are they are masquerading as patriots, American patriots, or masquerading as Nigerian patriots or whatever. But the reality is that the people who are going the hardest and leading the lambs to the slaughter essentially are the same people who are also the ones who have the trademark, the ones who hold the meetups, the ones who hold the holidays, the ones who hold the cookouts, etc., under this banner or this guise of whatever it is. And it's like, well, all right, cool. Well, then have the same smoke for Koreans, have the same smoke for Chinese, have the same smoke for Indians, have the same smoke for white supremacists. I don't see y'all coming, you know, and trying to find the KKK the same way that you're trying to come and find the Nigerians on Twitter, you know? So I just don't think that it really holds legitimacy, and I think that it's one of those things like cancel culture. In order to cancel somebody, you have to have the power to cancel them, right? So like when you have somebody who's got a TikTok or whatever, and they're like, right, all black Americans, you're going to cancel this person. It's like, okay, do you own the distribution? Do you own the social media platforms? Do you own any of the modalities in which you could cancel somebody? No, you don't. You're just talking. So I think it's a lot of talk, it's a lot of hot air, and we just need to, as progressive black people, we just need to shut it down. Every time we see it, we just say, no, 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 we're not doing that. We're building a city. No, 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 we're not doing that. We're building a tech company. You know, it will go away.
How do we offset the use of technology to create that dissension, to create more peace or more alignment within the community?
Um, you know, I've been on Instagram now for 14 years, 15 years, since 2011, I think I started my account. And I don't know if I can use expletives on the show, but there used to be a whole meme factory that was being spit out by racists, and when we identified it, we shut it down, and it was saying N word be like and B word be like. I don't know if you remember that, but there was
Yeah.
like this whole Negroes be like, and then women be like, but in a derogatory fashion. Um, and it was just the most racist, xenophobic, sexist, just horrible stuff, right? And we actually flipped that on its head, and we started a natural hair movement. We started the melanin movement. We started a bunch of things that were self-love movements at a time when nobody was talking about that on social media. People were using social media to take pictures of food and stuff, right? It wasn't about what it is now. It wasn't a business at the time, right?
No.
So it was a brand new thing where people used for creative expression. So what myself and a group of other accounts, some of them have been deleted, some of them are still there and going strong, did is we had many meetings, almost like a social media think tank, and we basically said, all right, cool, we're going to put out this message for a month, and then the next month we're going to put out this message, and we started with love your skin, love your hair. We also did love your culture, and we kind of went from the brand of melanin and the brand of love blackness to actually getting down into niche um, anthropology, where we were talking about people from Eswatini, we were talking about people from Congo, we were talking about people from Sudan, we were talking about people from Nigeria, we were talking about people from Mali, Senegal, and speaking about the Wolof people. And like, as far as I'm concerned, it was one of my elders said this to me many years ago when there was this racist guy who created this. I don't know if you're aware, but in the 60s, in the 50s, in the 40s, there were these human zoos, right, where they used to go and get Africans from Congo, from Senegal, etc., bring them into France, bring them into Brussels, bring them into various places, and basically put them next to monkeys and feed them and have people feed them, right? And so this guy decided to do a art exhibition where they basically put Africans in the same human zoo position, but he called it art, right? And so we had to go and shut that down. We had to fight police. And the next day, what happened was because
Oh wait, what? That happened? That
queuing and
happened
laughing
recently?
because there was a scene where a woman had just been SA'd, and then that was an art scene, and you would go in and watch how she's crying and all of this stuff. There was a scene where someone was feeding an actor. He was an actor, but he was being fed by white people, and I was just like, no, 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 we don't need any more disempowerment stuff. And the next day in the national paper, there was a there was a message, and it said, black activists brandish drums because we brought down the drums and we were banging the drums, and it was like a call to action. And I said to one of my elders, I said, how are they saying that you brandish drum like it's a weapon? And he said, because they gave us the Bible, they took away the drum. The drum can call something in your spirit that a book that's not of your people can't do anyway. And I said, okay, cool. And then I asked him, so what about this phone that I've been using? Because I'm now using the phone. This is like 2013, I think. I'm now using this phone all the time. 2014, I started doing my research. I started seeing about all of the ways that the minerals are being taken for my phone. And I'm like, these minerals are being taken from Congo, and people are dying over these phones. What may I do about them? Those things there, uncle. And he said to me, like the newspaper said that we brandish the drum, brandish your phone. You can use your phone for something positive. You can use your phone to change the narrative. You can use your phone as weaponized social anthropology to raise vibration. And that's what I've done ever since. Like, now, the algorithm is a bit mad, and we can see how Chinese TikTok is different to black TikTok, etc., etc. So you have to do some kind of subterfuge, some psychological warfare kind of thing to actually get to speak to your people. Because if you just focus in on history, a lot of the time it just gets buried, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so you have to do some things to get there. But if you understand the why, then the how is going to be easy. It might not be easy, but you're going to do it regardless. So I would say everybody who's watching this right now, brandish your phone. Use your phone as a way to tap into ancestral, spiritual connection with people that, a black American 100 years ago might have never spoken to somebody from South Africa. A black American 100 years ago might have never spoken to somebody from Congo or Somalia, even to have entertained the idea of diaspora, or they don't even know what it is, right? So now you have the access. What are you going to do with that?
So you're somebody that is a big advocate. The reason why you're speaking at InvestFest is to talk about Africa, but talk about business opportunities, specifically investing, moving. Sombra City. You're advocate for people to move to Africa, right?
100%.
What can you say to somebody that's like, why am I going to move to Africa? I'm not from Africa. I don't have any relatives in Africa. Why would I pick up and leave what I already know, whether it's in America or whether it's in the Caribbean or whether it's in UK? What do you say to people that don't understand? Like, why are you so pro move to Africa?
It's the land of opportunity. This whole thing where, it's the American dream, when really Malcolm X and Martin Luther King were saying it's the American nightmare. In the UK, I was born in the Caribbean, but I was raised in the UK. I was being sold, go to America. It's amazing. It's a land of opportunity. Then you get to America and you're like, hang on, police are allowed to just shoot people and get away with it. What? Hang on. This must be some other America. This can't be true, because what I'm told is this is where the rappers and the ball players and the basically the ultimate opportunity for a black person in the world is America, right? But then when we see social justice movements, and then when we see, how 90% or 80% of people are living, and then when we see the rises in food prices and all of these things, you start to realize that actually it's great marketing, right? And as you said before, Africa is losing out on 2 billion a year from negative propaganda, right? How much does America gain per year from positive propaganda, right? Because it's obviously gaining. People are trying to, break their neck and kill themselves to get over here, cross borders and do all kinds of stuff to get over here. But then when you get here, or when you get to the UK or Europe, you actually realize, our elders were lying to us, right? When they moved from Jamaica to the UK, and then they was telling everybody back in Jamaica, yeah, man, UK nice, everything nice, and it's like, then you get to the UK and you're like, nah, it's not, it's depressing. You can't find a real fruit, the weather is terrible, and the overall attitude is terrible. The house prices is through the roof.
Yeah, for sure.
You're basically killing yourself in a job for 40 years to get a pension. So you're gonna work 40 years of your best years of life to die for 20 years on breadcrumbs. That doesn't make any sense. And so this whole 40 acres and a mule myth that was sold to black Americans is a myth. In Africa, you can get your 40 acres. I don't know if you're gonna get a mule, but maybe instead you can get a cow. But you can you can get the cow play. I don't think
10
that
cow.
people 10 cow play. That's the entry level 10 cow play. Now, if someone's up there, that's the 100 cow play, right? But the fact of the matter is that it is the land of opportunity. It is the fastest growing continent in the world. It's the fastest growing economy in the world. And some of the things that are happening there, I would invite, like, all right, you don't have to be pro-black to move to Africa, though you are black, so you go to Africa and you're going to be pro-African, just by nature of you see them, they see you kind of like, yeah, we're the same thing. What about the Chinese, man? What about the Koreans? What about like the Japanese? What about the Indians? What about the Europeans? What about the Central Americans, the white Brazilians who are in Africa, mining it, building hotels? What about the Lebanese, bro?
Yeah.
Like some of the biggest shopping malls in Africa, multi-billion-dollar companies are owned by Lebanese who in Lebanon are nobodies. And they went to Africa and they made it. And they made it big as well. So you're trying to fight over crumbs in North America or fight over large amounts of money in North America, but those large amounts of money will also cost you a lot in taxes. They're going to cost you a lot in your health. I honestly think that most black people that I've ever met from America, from the Caribbean, from Europe, they go to Africa, and once they go to Africa, they get a spiritual healing that pulls them back consistently, year in, year out, and they will consistently go back to Africa. So I say, go and at least experience it and find yourself in the new land of opportunity. Because this old land of opportunity, I don't know, it seems like it's falling it's falling down and in on itself, and black people are being dragged with it. And also, they ain't benefiting that much. Like, let's be honest, if you are in maybe Atlanta, cool, but if you're in some of the other funny places that black people live in North America, you ain't having an easy life. Like, you ain't having the best life, and you're not culturally welcomed. So I don't know, man. Don't be in a place where the food is not real and the dreams that are being sold to you are honestly just lies.
From a economic affordability standpoint, we were just talking about how unaffordable most cities are to live in. What are some of like the most economic friendly places to live in Africa? Could you give like a top 5? And also on a health perspective, for people who have left the States and have went to Africa, what differences have you seen in their not only mental health but their physical health after a year being there?
So I would say affordable right now. Ethiopia is really affordable. Ethiopia, if you're doing business as well, Ethiopia has the cheapest electricity in the world per kilowatt. I can't remember what it is, but Google it is like the cheapest. I think um, Nairobi is really affordable. Kenya, if you've ever been to Kenya, it's an amazing place and it's very affordable. I also think that a lot of people go to South Africa. One of my friends is actually moving to South Africa because they like the infrastructure there. Depends on where you live, just like anywhere. You can live
Yeah.
in a really bougie area and pay crazy prices, or you can live in a really, basic area and pay next to nothing. Like, I know people who've moved to Ghana, but they don't live in Accra. They live like an hour and a half away from Accra, and they're paying for the year. They're paying like 600 US for the year for a 2-bed. So it's like, where do you want to live and what is it do you want to
Yeah.
do? Um, there's many places to explore, but I would say top 5 right now is for affordability. I would say Kenya and Tanzania. They're kind of next to each other and they're kind of similar prices. I would say next Ghana, where the prices are going up, you got to get in there because the prices are going up in Ghana. South Africa, and I would also say, though I ain't particularly trying to go there or live there because it seems like it's a bit boring. But Namibia, a lot of people have been speaking about Namibia as well. And then I would say what I've seen people experience from their mental health and their physical health in difference to living in the West, whether it's in Europe or whether it's in America, is first of all, their physical health vastly improves because they don't have genetically modified foods, right? So, genetically modified foods have been introduced to some parts of Africa, but they're not the dominant philosophy. Most of the food is naturally grown, right? Most of the food is naturally grown and doesn't have herbicides and doesn't have pesticides on it. So immediately when you cut out that Roundup and these things that are being used in American foods by these crazy corporations, I'm not going to name any names.
Please
I've
don't.
been warned. I can't point fingers at nobody.
Please don't.
But we know it's happening, right? And as soon as you remove these things out of your system, immediately your body's going to be able to breathe. It's going to be able to relax. Your cells are going to be able to reorganize themselves and know what they're supposed to do. So whether it's the fruit, which is natural and not crazy, like I know people who eat pineapple or eat various fruits in North America, and it's terrible for them. And they go to Africa and they start eating fruit, and they're like, oh, my tongue doesn't itch no more. Like I can eat this and I don't feel sick. I don't have any issues with it, right? Because the stuff is natural. What you have issues with in North America is the chemicals. You don't have issues with the fruit and maybe the way the fruit's grown, but you don't have issues with fruit. Fruit never makes anybody sick. It only makes you sick if the fruit's sick, right? So immediately physical health goes through the roof, and a lot of people have been moving their elders out to Africa. Some of their elders have got diabetes, got cancer, etc., etc., and that stuff just goes away. Over time, that stuff just goes away because the yam is natural, the plantain is natural. One of the things that I would say that you will experience, that I've been experiencing living in Ghana, is people don't really eat salad. So I've had to kind of find a way to get my salads in. There's a lot of the food is fried or boiled or stewed, but it's natural, right? So at least the fried food that you are getting is not GMO fried food that's going to cause you, you know, strokes and heart attacks. Also, there's a lot less salt, there's a lot less sugar, there's a lot less chemicals in your food in general. So people are just going to naturally be more healthy. People's skin starts to glow. This is the thing that a lot of people don't take into consideration, is that most melanated people have tropically adapted skeletons. That means that your body is adapted to the tropics, right? If you live in a subtemperate climate or a cold climate, you don't sweat. And when you don't sweat, it means you can't detox. So your
Yeah.
body's just full of toxins all the time. If you look at, if you study the tissues and the genetic composition of melanated people, especially West African melanated people or people of West African descent, we retain more salt in our body, right? So we need less salt in our food. So when we eat a ton of salt, no wonder we've got hypertension. Like if you look at, you know, compare a European to a West African, Europeans have a lot less salt. They retain a lot less salt. So they sweat it out. We hold on to it more, right? So then when you're eating salt all the time, iodized salt products, and then you wonder why, you know, Big Mama's got hypertension. She's got hypertension because she puts salt in her food. She's got diabetes because she's candying her yams, and really she should just be eating fresh mango because her body knows how to deal with that. Mental health, I think, is knowing that racism is not there in the same capacity. That is a big weight off your shoulders. Like me and you have been together. If we get pulled over by police in Ghana, we're just gonna be like, "Ah, what's going on?" If me and you are together and we get pulled over by police in America, we're like, yo, you start thinking about stuff you did way back in the day. You start thinking about, is the officer having a good day? You start thinking about, because the thing is yes, police in Ghana still got guns. Yes, police in Ethiopia have still got guns, but they're not going to turn them on you. Like, unless you actually are doing something crazy, they're not going to turn them on you. That's not a normal way of dealing with things. It's very rare that somebody gets shot at a traffic stop, right? It's very rare that somebody gets, what are they called? Hard knock, and people go into their houses and start shooting up people in the house. That's a very rare thing. It just doesn't really happen. And when it does happen, there's justice for it. Like, not just the justice in the courts, but actually, like, people have been dragged out, like police officers and soldiers have been dragged out of their house and killed by the village. Because you can't just go and kill somebody's kid. Like, you can't just do that. It's not cool for you to do that. So when you are in a place, right, where racism is not here in the back of your mind all the time and it's just gone, immediately you just get like this whole relaxation. You're just like, anything is possible. And you know how it be, like, we can go to a country and in that same day of going to that country, we can meet the president, we can meet the minister of finance, we can meet, you know, one of the top business people, we can meet a bunch of people that's going to allow us to carry out the vision that we want to co-collaborate with the people there. Whereas in Europe, it's like you ain't meeting nobody. And if you are meeting them, they're the same people who are upholding the same racist system that's been oppressing everybody. So immediately, like, I haven't met anybody who goes to Ghana and hasn't extended their flight. Every single person that I've met that has gone to Ghana, they feel the vibe, the tropical weather, the welcoming people, the amazing food, the amazing music, the lack of racism, and they're like, "Yo, I'm gonna try and see if I can go back to work a week late," and everybody does it, right? Because the glass ceilings aren't there. You feel like anything is possible there, whereas in America, in the UK, I don't feel like anything's possible. I know my place. And we realize that the people who are the top ones within that system of capitalism, the ball players, the athletes, the actors, the rappers, and when anything serious happens, watch how many of them open their mouth. They can't say anything. Most of them are controlled. Most of them are in contracts and they can't say anything because they know who's paying them, right? And Africa is just different. Like most of the people who are in Africa who are popular and have money, they really have the money, bro. Like they really have the cars. They really have the houses. It's in cash. It's not like an
There's
idea
no
on a credit line
financing. Yeah.
somewhere. They really have the money. So even that is a lot less stunting. There's a lot less pretending. You know, when I was in Atlanta a few years ago, and we went to the Revolt, what was it Revolt Fest, Revolt World thing,
World
whatever
Summit.
that
Yep.
thing was. But we went to the Revolt Summit, and I was there in the crowd, and I was standing around looking at people, and I was like, why is everybody's hairspray on? Why has everybody got these chains that ain't real? Why is everybody trying to pretend that they're doing something or they've got some motion, and then their car is leased, their house is leased, everything's on credit, their chain is fake, but they're trying to uphold this image to try and give this idea of royalty and reverence. And then when you go to Ghana, you go to different African countries, the people who've really got it, that's real gold that they're wearing.
Yeah.
You know, they've really got it, or they don't have it and they don't show it. And so it's just, I don't know, it's just a level of man. Anybody who goes to Africa, when you guys come to Africa, you can come to Africa with us. We're doing the Sambra City experience. You're able to buy a package, come to Africa with us on our curated experience. We ain't necessarily going to be there, but our people will be there to take you around and show you the Africa that we want you to see. And yeah, you will definitely, when you have a fresh coconut, you eat some fresh plantain, and you go out in a t-shirt at nighttime. Yeah, man. Your mental health will be cool.
Yeah.
So Chaka, man, I know you gotta get back to your day. You know, stopped you after ICE detained you. I'm glad you made
good.
it. Glad you made it out, man. But once again, just tell the people you'll be speaking on Saturday at InvestFest.
I don't know if Rashad is speaking. I've got like a spinning thing.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I think.
Yeah. Ian, ask him if he can hear you.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah. Tell us what you're going to be talking about Saturday at InvestFest and what time.
Don't ask me the time. I think it's around 11 or 12 or something like that. I can't remember.
It's 11. 11.
About Sambra City. 11. Okay, cool. We're going to be speaking about Sambra City. We're going to be speaking about building in Ghana and giving you the updates, everything that's been going on, speaking about investing in Africa, and basically trying to figure out a roadmap for Black Americans, for Black Caribbeans, for Black British, Black Europeans to get back to Africa, move their family back to Africa, send their kids to school in Africa, and find a pipeline for them to be able to make money and live in a place where they ain't going to be 60, 70, 80 years old, wondering if the police is going to shoot them, you know?
Yeah. All right, Chaka, my brother. I see you on Saturday, man.
I'll see you Saturday, man. See you this weekend.
Respect.
Never a dull moment.
At all. Interesting part, though, given life expectancy, middle age is really like 38 and 39, right? For the average person?
What you said, 38?
38 to 39. Most people think middle age is 50. Most people aren't living to 100.
Yeah, that's true. Midlife crisis. He brought up a lot of good points with the health, though, too. The salt thing, that was pretty interesting.
That's fascinating.
Because it's like, that makes sense, right? Because, like, why do we have hypertension at levels that nobody else has it? I never heard that before. Mm-hmm. But I mean, that does make sense, right? Like, if we have naturally more salt in our body and we're not releasing it, and then we're adding more salt on top of that salt, then yeah, I mean, that's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah,
sugar,
and I've been in natural climates, and then the inactivity part, that because you're in a tropical climate, you're definitely going to move around a lot more. In Ghana, though, you're not going to sleep too often. Huh? Boy, time. We have to Market Monday's words. So shout out to everybody who came out. What a time, though. The energy is like,
that's a fact.
Feels like Vegas.
He said that there's a lot less salt in the soil in West Africa. I also didn't get a chance to ask him about his thoughts on polygamy, but I figure,
Saturday.
Yeah, we'll save that. We'll save
Save
that
that.
conversation
Save that.
for a later date.
Mm-hmm.
But shout out to Shaka, man. Always
Like you said, never a dull moment. Super entertaining.
Never a dull moment for sure.
Yeah.
Never. You know what I like about InvestFest? You get such an eclectic group of people that come.
That's true.
Like you got Fawn Weaver, Jack Dorsey, ChakaBars, Ian, 19 Keys, Magic Johnson.
Yeah.
Kenny Burns, Terrence J.
Yep.
Jada Chavez. It's all because it's
the group.
Because there's different people that's going to relate to different people.
That's true.
You know
but you can learn from everyone. I tell people this all the time, that everyone there, you can learn something. The showmanship that Terrence and Kenny have and their ability to spot trends, don't take them for granted because they're deemed to be in entertainment. Fawn Weaver, hell of an orator. That story with her and Tabitha, if you miss out, you do not want to scale your business. Keep saying you can climb to the mountaintop and there may be somebody that'll push you off right after. So yeah, I'm definitely excited. Steve Harvey, every time I see Steve, I'm like,
Steve Harvey, every time. Oh, Issa Rae, Charlamagne, Jada Sheaves, not Jada Chavez, Jada Sheaves.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jada. Yeah, that's interesting. Okay.
Cedric Nash. And on Monday, Cedric went crazy on Monday, yo. I'm not gonna lie.
Cedric Nash, the divorce play.
Speaking of that, should a rising star or rising entrepreneur get married in the midst of that climb, or should they wait till after things have kind of settled out for the business? We don't got to get in trouble.
To each his own. If you find love, salute it. Protect yourself at all costs.
No matter what.
At all times.
But number one rule.
Sometimes it could either distract you or help you. Because you can't get distracted in a relationship.
If you're with the wrong one, for sure.
Also get laser focused if you're in a relationship. If somebody's helping you, all right. For instance, if you're with somebody and they pretty much become your like secretary assistant and they handling everything for you, that's going to help your growth. If you
were just bringing great energy, that's another part that's invaluable. Back to bringing value, just having good energy and support and good counsel will help a lot.
But you can't get financially drained, though. Don't get financially drained. That's going to be a recipe for disaster. Speaking of that, switching topics, but salute to Jim Jones. I went to see Jim. Jim's one of these guys, man.
Shout out to Capo, yo. Jim's a good dude, though.
No, he's a good guy. He's a good guy, man. So he has a building in the Bronx that I've been seeing on social media, but I just saw it looked like a content space. He's like, yo, come down. I want you to check it out. 100,000 square feet. Everything like there's multiple different sets.
You're coming out with a show, right?
Yeah, he came out with a show. Yeah. Fabio Foreign was his first guest. I watched the whole episode with him. Man, you know what I like about Jim is he's one of these people that he's tapped in. Like he's super tapped in. Like he knows a lot about like what's going on. And another thing is that he's like a baseball player. He swings. He's gonna hit a home run eventually.
For sure. Just through being consistent and work ethic.
Because I remember when we first met him, he was talking about like this Amazon web studio that he was doing. That was his big thing. Then he did like a dating app. Then he was
crypto coin,
crypto. Like he's really has the energy to hustle.
For sure.
And eventually he's gonna hit a grand slam home run
at some point, and people think it's crazy. But I remember, not to compare them to because it'll whatever happened. But I remember when Nas first got into investing, and everyone was like, "Oh, he's a rapper. What does he know?" And home run after home run after home run. Nas up there, like it doesn't get talked about, but in that VC space, Buffett-esque like return and selection of companies to invest in.
Yeah.
Great team developed. Jim will have his moment.
Yeah. Shout out to Jim, man. I'm telling you, like the place is very, very impressive. It's huge. It's like a Hollywood studio. Like, they got like 10 different rooms. You can do different set changes. And he just never stops hustling. Like he's a real, people use the word hustler very loosely. He's a real hustler.
Yeah, great work ethic, yo. Jim
Tremendous.
doesn't get enough credit. I mean, and despite what you may see online or whatever you may think of him, Jim's a really solid person and good person behind the scenes. Like, I'm happy for him. And it's a good investment long term.
Yeah, and he's actually the one. Speaking of the ChakaBars conversation about the health, so when I seen it, and now he looks like a boxer. He was always in shape, but now he's extra in shape. Like he lost like 10 pounds. Like he looks like he could box, which is even more impressive because he's almost 50 years old.
Yeah,
that speaks to his work ethic also. But I'm like, yo, you lost weight? He's like, yeah, I had to, bro. They said I was pre-diabetic, and that. So okay, he's somebody that's in shape. You watch his workout. So he was like, it wasn't so much that I was fat. The food that I was eating, I tried to make up for it by working out. So I would eat fried food, I would drink sodas and all that. I'm like, what you cut out? I'm like, what you cut out? He's like, I cut out everything. I cut out fried food, processed food, soda, juice, he's like sugar.
Have to.
So I say that to say sometimes you could physically look in shape and still have health serious. Yep. Being pre-diabetic is a pretty serious situation. That's serious.
Gotta get your levels checked every 6 months.
You can have serious, especially if you're Black. Like we have a lot of genetic conditions that you got, and a lot of this stuff is reversible. Like even something like asthma, you can reverse asthma.
Really?
Yeah, because asthma is a thing that 9 times out of 10 is caused by your environment. The place that has the highest level of asthma in America, do you know?
New York City.
Well, specifically,
Bronx.
The Bronx.
I can believe that.
Is that a coincidence?
It's a great point. Listen, right. I know Trump went to DC. Shout out to the Bronx. Y'all not going over there playing them. Let me see your ID games. Ooh, different. But that's fascinating. Environmental factors for sure.
No, it's a lot of this stuff. Most of this stuff is either environment or diet or a combination of both.
Yeah. Even like Gatorade. I remember when Gatorade was deemed healthy back in the day. Like Gatorade has like 30 grams or 26 grams of sugar in it. Like if you just look at the sugar concentration of a lot of things, man, you're probably on a yearly basis based on just general American diet, you're over probably 9x of what you need in terms of sugar.
And even what it's going to get you to those drinks. Like I like lemon drops, but all those sugary cocktails and all that's just
mess you up, bro.
It's just settling in your body and your stomach.
On top of the alcohol that has the sugar in it. Yeah.
That's a fact.
Have to be careful.
That's a fact. So just got to be mindful of all the stuff that you put into your body. But shout out to Capo. Speaking of Washington, how you feel about Trump's and Putin? Well, Trump, all right, first he met with Putin. We could talk about that. Then he met with Zelensky. So very different conversation that he had with Zelensky this time. Zelensky put the suit on. I don't know if that was that's an interesting suit that he had, because it was like a sports suit. I don't know what that was, but I guess he got the memo. But Trump seemed very friendly this time.
Friendlier this time, for sure.
Very friendly, but also with Putin, even though he said that he didn't really have any breakthrough that happened. So what's going to happen?
Another person who's really good on sentiment and consumer sentiment. I think he understands the fork in the road that we're about to cross, and it's better to have a friendly conversation and disposition, even if you don't see eye to eye, opposed to have intention. There's no money in beef. There's no money in, like, unless you're selling the arm. So if you're Andrew or Palantir, there's a lot of money in it. But for most people, if you're president or you're running you're an executive, it doesn't benefit you to have all these conflicts, because now you have all of these worries and fears about what will be done, and you have to plan. It's a lot easier just to have a conversation, even though the one with Putin didn't go the way maybe he wanted. It's a step in the right direction.
Yeah.
We can't afford well, we've been stretched in wars forever, but just even in our lifetime, post 9/11, we've been in a nonstop war that is draining our economy.
That's a fact. That is a fact.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Reparations. Want to have that conversation?
Skip. See y'all at InvestFest. That's how they get it.
Okay.
Shout out to the FBI.
Are corporations more powerful than nations now? And if so, who's really running the world's economy?
I will never say who's really running the world, but I think corporations have been running this nation at least the last, what was it, 25? Or at least since 1929, for sure. Even if you look at the market cap, okay, like Nvidia is worth more than all the publicly traded companies in Germany. You can say it's right or it's wrong, but the numbers are the numbers. I think corporations have had, even if you talk about lobbying power, where the orders come from somewhere, I think corporations have been in control of policy. And going back to this food crisis, the health crisis that we face, that's done by pharma and food companies.
But okay. But on the flip side of that, you can say Trump would be the poster boy of that not being true, right? Like he made the most powerful companies in the world come and kiss his ring and do what he wanted to do because he's in control of government.
You can argue that. I think also a person who is in control doesn't have their life attempted to be ended in public.
I'll say that again.
That would never happen to the person that runs the Vatican or Council on Foreign Relations or Bilderberg. Never would happen. I'm just telling you how this world runs. Would never happen to them. So, is he powerful? For sure, though. But even at, of course, and I agree, the corporations are going to play ball, even with AI. In my conspiracy brain, all this derivative tech is really one company, but it's being separated to look like we have competitive factions. But what do I know?
It's interesting. I mean, I feel like it
okay, if you and I are at war, quote unquote, and Hillary's in office, and we're both getting subsidies from the government, and we're both okay, and you have 40% of the market, I have the other 40, and Matt has 20. Is that really diversity in the market, or we're not allowed to get along in public to say that we have one monopoly?
Are you speaking about
tech in general? The InvestFest is this week. Tech in general. Hypothetically.
But then, okay. But also, all right. Well, you would say, all right, if America, let's just say America companies have more control, have more power than government, right? That's an anomaly.
For sure.
Most countries in the world, it's the opposite. Even large, like, all right, for instance, China.
Yep.
No matter how big Alibaba you
go sit down.
Nobody, and Russia, perfect example of that, right?
For sure.
So most countries in the world, the government has more control than
absolutely
corporations.
Yeah, what we do things backwards. We're the only country where the inmates run the asylum. Yeah.
You think Trump is going to get a third term?
It's above my pay grade. No, I'll be honest. No, Peter Thiel will. I think Peter Thiel probably will have the next 3 candidates that he picks in office.
JD Vance?
Oh, shoe in. I'll just ask a question from a brand standpoint.
A shoe in for president?
In comparison to the Democrats?
JD Vance?
The Democrats have no stars.
No, they do have stars. They have Bernie Sanders. They have Gavin
Too
Newsom.
old. And if we're going to tell the real story, they cut his legs from underneath him when he could have won.
Oh, 100%.
For selfish reasons.
How old is, let me see. How old is Bernie Sanders?
If I'm 43, Bernie got to be 80. Too.
Bernie Sanders is 83 years old. Wow.
See, they can't throw AOC into the wood chipper yet because you have to look to the future. Gavin Newsom dropped California's in ruin. How you gonna run the country? I like Gavin. He got the nice coiffed hair, but California's in ruin. Who else you have? I'm just talking Q score standpoint. Like Trump is an anomaly. He's a star.
Westmore. What?
Shout to West. If Zuckerberg gets behind him, pause. Maybe. You need the battle isn't the candidate, it's the financier.
Well, they're gonna get. Well, Kamala had $1 billion. They raised $1 billion.
And who cut the legs from underneath her? One day we're gonna be able to talk.
At what point? At the beginning stage or later?
Or later. I'm talking about later.
Elon Musk.
Well, before. The infighting.
Earlier stages for sure.
Set the trap. So, but you guys put in chat. Who do you think will be next? But I do think Peter Thiel. I think of both sides. Peter's smart enough and has been around and is vindictive enough. He tore up Gawker when Gawker printed whatever they printed and he got revenge. He's going to have the Democratic side at some point too. Not the entire Democrat, but he's going to find a candidate over there for sure. Peter wants to be Trump. He's just not likable enough. Go read his book, one of the greatest business books ever. If you read that book and then see what he's doing in government now, you're not shocked at all. Not shocked at all. 0 to 1, classic book.
What's up with U.S. banks holding billions of dollars in unrealized losses?
It's been happening ever since Silicon Valley Bank. Everyone wants to act as if they were the only one. It's going back to the weaknesses analysis. There are a lot of mid-sized banks that I think could go under. Now, they're being held on paper. There hasn't been and I think that's part of the reason why they don't want to say recession, to have a cascading effect or triggering effect on other markets. And now we get to see the truth be revealed. But when I'm doing my analysis on things that could go wrong over the next 4 or 5 years, that is one of them that could go wrong. And it could cripple certain parts of the market for sure. Let's go look. Everyone do a quick chat GPT search on how many banks have been holding losses for more than 3 or 4 years on their books. And if commercial real estate is coming down, debt is higher, auto loans default rates are going up. The credit card, do you think banks are doing incredibly well? The big four would be okay, but mid-sized banks, they are in trouble. Look, we talked about it Monday. Nike, Lululemon, and Starbucks are in free fall with no replacement other than Amazon in sight. That's not good for our economy at all. Dollar General was like a hedge for recessionary environments. Dollar General is down. It's tough. Shout out to the CEO of Red Lobster and turn that around. Like, we need more of him. But most even fast casual places are going down. Chipotle, compression. They did the stock split and it has not moved back towards positive territory when it's a great stock and the food is pretty good and the profit margin is decent for their space. They have not moved up. That's terrifying. Enough doom and gloom.
All right.
If you want to know the solution, see you in Atlanta. Learn one thing from every speaker that you can implement into your business and life, and have GPT write your plan of action for when you leave Sunday night.
You guys definitely should go to all the AI panels.
You have to.
And Ian's presentation actually is labeled, what is it? How to make 500% artificial
intelligence. Yep.
So it's artificial intelligence in the investing side.
Mm-hmm.
It's that time.
It's that
time, ladies and gentlemen.
My phone is off to Sunday night with the exception of Troy, Rashad, AB, my mom, dad, and Xander. Other than that, catch you when I can.
Catch you when I can.
I'm be out Sunday night though, for sure.
Sunday night.
For sure. Short market Monday is the week after too. Just kidding.
Okay.
I'll be down on the list for next year too. I saw you making a list of 20.
Man, shout out to ChakaBars. I'm glad that he made it.
Getting detained coming from Somalia is crazy. You gotta be careful. Nobody big in the program.
That is a fact.
You gotta be careful, my brother. And what you said, when you're traveling to these countries, they are checking your IG. You guys be careful.
100%.
What?
100%. 100%. So y'all want to talk crazy if you want.
Please don't.
End up locked up abroad.
Mm-hmm. That would not be fun.
All right.
Drip report?
Little no? Drip report. Modified version.
Okay.
Modified version. You want to talk about this little Yachty thing before we leave or no?
We can touch on it real quick.
Little Yachty, you know what, man? It's something that if you're not familiar, he said he was on Playboy Party. What's it? Max?
Playboy Max
joint live, and then he was like, "Yo, I'll put my knee on the neck like I was George Floyd." And then of course Stephen Jack, you know, he had some choice words to say. I think that they squashed it. He called them Playboy. Blackboy Max. Blackboy Max, I think is his name. They squashed it. You know, he said that he apologized to him. Teachable moment. So you know, everybody makes mistakes in life. I would like to see a public apology for him, not necessarily to like embarrass Yachty, but as a teachable moment to other kids that look up to him and people from his generation to understand like that this parameters. It's just like no different from Lil Wayne was like beat it up like Emmett Till. It's just as Black people, we gotta have some level of
checks and balances,
self-respect. Like no other group of people would just make a bar out of people that have been killed. Like these are martyrs. These are people that have been killed, right? Like mutilated and humiliated on camera and all. And like it's just very tasteless. Like I said, everybody makes mistakes. I'm not sure what he was thinking about when he said that, but I just personally think it seems like he's a very intelligent person, Lil Yachty. I think that it would be helpful if he issued a public apology, because I think that would go a long way in just kind of, you know, having some level of
respect and decorum.
Yeah. You know?
Yeah.
You know?
Just be respectful, man. You don't always need a moment. And I'm sure he wasn't trying to do it to be disrespectful. I think sometimes he's not a kid, but like sometimes the youth can be disconnected from bigger issues. You can't be that disconnected while you're out of touch and don't know how that's going to affect people. So do unto others. It's just simple. Just do unto others. You wouldn't want anybody to say that about you.
Or somebody in your family.
Yeah. Because you know how the boy felt when you was calling him with that shit about Kendrick every week. And he alive and thriving despite some little beef with the steak CEO. He's still thriving. Come on, man. Have respect and have respect for the dead. I don't like that in rap, that disrespecting the dead of any genre. Don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do
Don't
that.
do that.
All right, y'all. It's been real. See you guys in Atlanta. InvestFest. Motion picture.
Do we need to talk to the fellas about proper etiquette about how to approach a woman and give space and grace? Oh no, they should know by now. Don't be a goofy out in Atlanta doing too much. Respectfully. Just be cool.
It's gonna be a lot of women.
Don't gawk. Y'all be doing the point like we in third grade. Yo, you see? Bro, just be cool. Be respectful.
Please be respectful.
Don't play yourself.
Number one.
If you take your notes and they'll be like, yo, I got the notes from the session. You in CMG? Oh, let me tap to tap.
That's up with that.
Be clever.
Be clever.
Be clever, allegedly.
Allegedly. All right. All right, my brother. Well, safe travels, man. I'll see you.
Thank you.
I'll see you in the A in a few days.
Can't
And
wait.
looking forward to, your presentation. You always set the bar.
It's gonna be a good time.
You set a high standard when it comes to what you've been able to do. Whether it was the mask or the marching band, and the showmanship is one thing, but it has to be backed up by education. You do a great job of that. So I'm personally looking forward to seeing your performance, and then of course, sharing the stage with you, whether it's on Blackout or Market Mondays Live.
Good time, bro.
So,
thank you.
Appreciate you as always, and I would highly recommend everybody, watch Ian whenever he gets in front of the crowd. It's a moment. I don't know what he has planned. I haven't spoken to him about it. I don't know what he has planned, but I'm pretty sure he has something up his sleeve.
Maybe for sure, best presentation I've done. Even when I sent it to Nick, he was like, "This is." I probably will not be able to get through all of it. But every prompt that I personally use to look at the market, I'm my bad boy. Even some people in Red Panda's like, I don't know if you should get us to the public. I'm like, time is too critical. Time is too critical. So I'm gonna give you the real deal about how to prompt, and also too when I start having, because I use ChatGPT as my brainstorming partner, and when I start having these questions about Apple and you'll see why I say he needs to be replaced. You'll see.
I'm looking forward to it. Get your tickets, investfest.com. If you can't make it, get a virtual ticket. It starts Thursday. Registration starts Thursday. InvestFest actually starts on Friday, 10 o'clock in the morning. Georgia World Congress Center, VIP night. Saturday and Sunday, Georgia World Congress Center. 85 South Comedy Show Thursday.
Mike B called me. Tell me what Rashad got planned, because he ain't telling me. I'm still working on it. I'm like,
game time decision. Game time decision.
I feel you.
All right, my brother.
All right, man. Have a good one. Love y'all.